Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
In the shadowed woods of rural Quebec, a man claimed he spoke to God. He claimed he offered salvation, a new Eden, and they followed him. They built cabins by hand, planted gardens from scratch. They called themselves the Ant Hill Kids because they worked like little ants, tireless, loyal, blind. But what they didn't know was that they were building their own prison. This is the true story of Roch Thériault, the Canadian cult leader who turned salvation into slaughter and a commune into a butcher's table. He was magnetic, French-Canadian, soft-spoken, bearded like a prophet from some Renaissance painting. And he believed he was chosen, not metaphorically, literally. Roch Thériault believed he was the Messiah, and the world, it was going to end in 1979. But don't worry, he said. He had the blueprint for survival. He preached in Quebec towns, marketplaces, parking lots. And somehow, people listened. More than a dozen people abandoned their jobs, homes, families to follow him. They built a commune near Burnt River, Ontario, off the grid, isolated, a raw return to nature. At first, it felt like a spiritual revolution. Gardens, herbal medicine, shared meals, a place where God was always close. But soon, that medicine turned into knives, and a prayer turned into screaming. The world didn't end in 79, but Roch's delusion only deepened. He turned from preacher to warden. New rules every week, no sex without permission, no contact with the outside world, no leaving, ever. Disobedience, punished. Some were whipped, some were forced to eat dead mice, feces. One woman was nailed to a tree and stoned by the group. Roch said it was spiritual correction. He said pain cleansed the soul, and he decided who needed cleansing. He took multiple wives, many unwilling, fathered over 20 children, and began performing surgery with no anesthesia. One follower, a woman he diagnosed with gangrene, had her arm amputated on a kitchen table. She lived, but others weren't so lucky. In 1988, Roch claimed one of his wives, Solange, had an unseen illness, and only he could heal it. What followed is barely speakable. He laid her on a table, forced an enema of molasses and olive oil. Then, with a kitchen knife, he cut into her abdomen and reached inside with his bare hands. Solange screamed, then fell silent. She died within hours, but Roch didn't stop. He claimed her spirit was with them, so he bathed in her blood, preserved her bones, and performed a necrophilic ritual on her remains. No one ran, no one called police, because by then, they weren't just followers, they were prisoners. Her name was Gabrielle Lavallée, a devoted member, a true believer, one of Roch's wives. But when she tried to leave, he made her an example. He cut off 8 of her fingers with garden shears, then chopped off part of her arm with a meat cleaver. She survived. And one night, while Roch was asleep, bleeding, mutilated, she ran. She stumbled into a hospital and told everything. Police raided the commune in 1989. They found bones, children, and scars that told stories no one should ever live through. Roch Thériault was arrested, convicted of murder, and sentenced to life. But life didn't last forever. In 2011, while in prison, he was murdered by his cellmate, his head bashed in. A brutal end for a man who had inflicted far worse. The Ant Hill Kids, a name that sounds innocent, childlike, sweet almost. But behind it was one of the darkest cults in modern history. Because when people surrender their minds to one man, and that man claims to speak for God, he doesn't always hand them salvation. Sometimes he hands them a knife.